Welcome to Review Monster 101. This review includes 25 multiple-choice questions to review for Unit 6 of the Common 9-unit series to prepare for the AP Psychology exam. After each question, I will offer a brief explanation. For reviews of the other 8 units, please subscribe. It helps me out and allows me to make these freely available review materials. Grab a beverage and snack. It is time to unleash your review monster. Let's begin. 1. Which stage of prenatal development is characterized by the differentiation and division of cells, typically occurring between 10 to 14 days after conception? A. Implantation. B. Fetus stage. C. Zygote stage. C. Zygote stage. The zygote stage, occurring approximately 10 to 14 days after conception, is marked by rapid cell division and differentiation. This phase initiates the formation of specialized cells that will eventually develop into various bodily structures and organs. Implantation follows the zygote stage, involving the attachment of the multicellular cluster, embryo, to the uterine wall, while the fetus stage follows further developmental stages. Two. What term refers to the harmful agents, such as viruses, that can enter the placenta and adversely affect the developing fetus during the prenatal period? A. Zygotes. B. Teratogens. C. Neurons. B. Teratogens. Teratogens are agents or substances, such as viruses, chemicals, or medications, capable of crossing the placental barrier and causing harm or disruptions to the normal development of the fetus during pregnancy. Exposure to teratogens during pregnancy can lead to various birth defects or developmental abnormalities in the growing fetus, highlighting the significance of avoiding potentially harmful substances during this critical period of development. Three. During which stage of prenatal development does the differentiation into organs and bones begin as the multicellular cluster implants itself onto the uterine wall? A. Fetus stage. B. Zygote stage. C. Implantation stage. C. Implantation stage. The differentiation into organs and bones typically commences during the implantation stage of prenatal development, occurring between approximately 2 to 8 weeks after conception. This phase involves the multicellular cluster, known as the embryo, attaching and implanting itself onto the uterine wall. Subsequently, the embryo starts the process of differentiation, laying the foundation for the development of various organs and skeletal structures, critical for the future growth and function of the growing fetus. Four. What are the harmful consequences of alcohol exposure during pregnancy that may lead to cognitive and physical developmental issues in the fetus? A. Teratogens. B. Zygote. C. Fetal alcohol syndrome. C. Fetal alcohol syndrome. Fetal alcohol syndrome, FAS, refers to the set of cognitive, behavioral, and physical issues that can arise in a fetus when exposed to alcohol during pregnancy. It leads to cognitive impairments, structural brain abnormalities, and physical deformities due to the teratogenic effects of alcohol on the developing fetus. FAS underscores the importance of abstaining from alcohol consumption during pregnancy to prevent potential harm and developmental issues in the growing fetus. Five. At what stage of prenatal development does the fetus begin to recognize and adapt to sounds, gradually becoming less agitated over time? A. Implantation stage. B. Zygote stage. C. Fetus stage. C. Fetus stage. During the fetus stage, which typically begins around 9 weeks after conception, the developing fetus starts to respond to external stimuli, including sounds. Over time, the fetus becomes increasingly accustomed to various sounds, recognizing and adapting to them, which leads to reduced agitation in response to familiar sounds. This developmental response to auditory stimuli marks an early form of sensory perception and adaptation in the prenatal period. Six. Which part of the brain plays a significant role in motor development in infants? A. Cerebrum. B. Hypothalamus. C. Cerebellum. C. Cerebellum. The cerebellum is a crucial brain region involved in motor development, coordination, and balance in infants. Its functions are vital in facilitating the gradual attainment of motor milestones during infancy, aiding in the progression from fundamental movements such as sitting, crawling, and walking to more refined and coordinated motor skills as the child grows. 7. What is the typical age range at which infants start to walk in a somewhat wobbly manner? A. 6 months. B. 12 months. C. 15 months. B. 12 months. Infants typically begin to walk, albeit somewhat unsteadily or wobbly, around the age of 12 months. This initial stage of walking signifies the onset of locomotive abilities and marks the transition from crawling or other forms of mobility to upright ambulation. Over time, as they practice and gain experience, their walking becomes more stable and coordinated. 8. What term describes the phenomenon where individuals tend to forget memories from the first few years of their life, primarily due to differences in how infantile memories are formed? A. Infantile amnesia. B. Procedural memory. C. Early childhood amnesia. A. Infantile amnesia. Infantile amnesia refers to the inability of individuals to recall or retain memories from the earliest years of their life, typically spanning from the first 1 to 3 years. The memory mechanisms during infancy, notably different from those in later life stages, often lead to the fading or absence of explicit episodic memories from this period, although certain procedural memories, like basic motor skills, might be retained. 9. According to Piaget, which term refers to the process of incorporating new experiences or information into existing mental frameworks or schemas? A. Assimilation. B. Accommodation. C. Cognition. A. Assimilation. Assimilation, as proposed by Piaget in his theory of cognitive development, denotes the cognitive process by which individuals incorporate new information, experiences, or objects into their existing mental frameworks or schemas. It involves fitting or adapting new information to pre-existing schemas, allowing individuals to interpret and understand new stimuli or events based on their existing knowledge structures or mental models. Ten. What term, as per Piaget's theory, represents the adjustment or modification of mental schemas to accommodate new experiences or information that cannot be assimilated into existing schemas? A. Assimilation. B. Accommodation. C. Cognition. B. Accommodation. Accommodation, in Piaget's theory of cognitive development, refers to the process of adjusting or modifying existing mental schemas to accommodate new experiences or information that cannot be assimilated into pre-existing schemas. This adaptive process involves altering or forming new mental frameworks to integrate and comprehend novel information or situations that do not align with an individual's existing cognitive structures, leading to cognitive growth and the development of new schemas. Eleven. Which Piagetian stage is associated with the concept of object permanence, understanding that objects continue to exist even when out of sight? A. Sensorimotor. B. Pre-operational. C. Operational. A. Sensorimotor. The concept of object permanence, where infants realize that objects continue to exist even when they are not seen, is a hallmark of Piaget's sensorimotor stage, 0–2 years. This stage primarily focuses on infants exploring their environment through sensory experiences, development of object permanence, and the beginnings of symbolic thought. 12. At which stage, according to Piaget, do children begin to demonstrate the ability to understand that others might have different thoughts, beliefs, or perspectives from their own? A. Pre-operational. B. Operational. C. Formal operational. A. Pre-operational. Piaget observed that the emergence of theory of mind, the understanding that others might possess different thoughts or beliefs, starts near the end of the pre-operational stage, 2–7 years. This stage is marked by the development of symbolic thought, imaginative play, and the ability to engage in pretend play, but lacks the full comprehension of others' perspectives, which gradually develops towards the later stages. 13. In which Piagetian stage do children typically grasp the concept of conservation, understanding that certain properties of objects remain the same despite changes in appearance? A. Operational. B. Pre-operational. C. Formal operational. A. Operational. Conservation. The understanding that certain properties of objects remain constant despite superficial changes in appearance generally emerges toward the end of the operational stage, 6–11 years. During this stage, children develop logical reasoning abilities, grasp conservation, and understand simple mathematical concepts, indicating a transition from concrete to abstract thinking, though not fully reaching formal logic, which occurs in the next stage. 14. Which Piaget stage involves more complex thinking, such as hypothetical and abstract reasoning, as well as consideration of multiple possibilities? A. Sensorimotor. B. Pre-operational. C. Formal operational. C. Formal operational. Formal operational stage, 11 plus years, is characterized by the emergence of abstract and hypothetical thinking, allowing individuals to engage in advanced problem solving, formulate hypotheses, think logically about potential scenarios, and consider multiple perspectives. This stage marks the development of formal operational thought, wherein individuals can reason about intangible concepts and think systematically about abstract ideas and principles. 15. Which criticism of Piaget stages suggests that development is not as strictly divided into discrete stages as he proposed? A. Kids take different amounts of time. B. Development is continuous. C. Formal logic is not the main goal of adulthood. B. Development is continuous. The criticism that development is continuous suggests that human development does not occur in strictly separated stages as Piaget proposed, but rather as a continuous and ongoing process. This criticism highlights that cognitive growth and transitions between stages are more fluid and gradual, with individual variations in the pace and progression of developmental milestones. 16. According to Kohlberg, at which stage of moral development does an individual consider obedience to societal rules and laws as important? A. Post-conventional. B. Pre-conventional. C. Conventional. C. Conventional. In Kohlberg's theory, the conventional stage involves conformity and acceptance of societal norms and rules. Individuals in this stage obey rules because they are expected to and conform to social norms to gain approval. It's a stage where societal expectations and laws are seen as crucial, reflecting conformity to maintain social order and societal approval. 17. Which attachment style, as identified by Mary Ainsworth, involves children being upset upon separation from their caregiver and comforted upon their return? A. Anxious style. B. Avoidant style. C. Secure attachment. C. Secure attachment. The secure attachment style is characterized by distress upon separation from the caregiver and comfort upon their return. Children with secure attachment exhibit distress when separated from their caregiver but are easily soothed upon reunion. This attachment style reflects a healthy emotional bond with the caregiver, allowing the child to explore confidently while seeking comfort when needed. 18. which parenting style is characterized as being both demanding and responsive, creating a balanced approach to raising children? A. Authoritarian. B. Permissive. C. Authoritative. C. Authoritative. The authoritative parenting style is characterized by being demanding yet responsive. This style creates a balanced environment where parents set clear expectations and rules while being responsive to their child's needs and providing warmth and support. It's an approach that combines discipline and guidance with an open line of communication, fostering independence, self-regulation, and social competence in children. 19. Which theorist emphasized the role of social communication, inner speech, mentoring, language, and cognitive support in the process of learning? A. Kohlberg, B. Gilligan, C. Vygotsky. C. Vygotsky. Vygotsky highlighted the significance of social interaction, language, and cognitive support in learning. According to his sociocultural theory, learning occurs through social communication, inner speech development, guidance by more knowledgeable individuals, and cultural tools like language and symbolic systems. Vygotsky emphasized the importance of social interactions in cognitive development and learning through interaction with more experienced individuals. 20. Which stage of moral reasoning, according to Kohlberg, is focused on fairness, equality, and consideration of rights and values? A. Pre-conventional. B. Post-conventional. C. Conventional. B. Post-conventional. The post-conventional stage, according to Kohlberg, involves moral reasoning based on abstract principles of fairness, equality, and individual rights. Individuals in this stage consider universal ethical principles and values, focusing on social contracts and ethical dilemmas beyond conventional societal norms. This stage reflects a more principled and internalized understanding of morality based on individual values, rights, and ethical considerations. 21. Which stage in Erikson's psychosocial theory occurs during infancy and centers around the development of trust or mistrust in the world? A. Autonomy versus shame-doubt. B. Initiative versus guilt. C. Trust versus mistrust. C. Trust versus mistrust. The first stage in Erikson's psychosocial theory is trust versus mistrust, which occurs during infancy. It involves developing a sense of trust in caregivers and the world. Successful resolution of this stage leads to a sense of trust and security, while failure results in mistrust and feelings of insecurity. Infants need a secure environment and consistent care to develop trust and a positive outlook on the world. 22. According to Erikson, which stage of life focuses on developing a sense of competence or inferiority typically experienced during the school-age years? A. Autonomy versus shame doubt. B. Competence versus inferiority. C. Identity versus role confusion. B. Competence versus inferiority. The stage of competence versus inferiority, as per Erikson's psychosocial theory, occurs during the school-age years. This stage revolves around developing a sense of competence, mastery, and accomplishment in various skills and tasks. Children at this stage strive for success and competence. However, if they experience consistent failure or lack of encouragement, they may develop feelings of inferiority and incompetence. This stage shapes a child's sense of self-esteem and confidence in their abilities. 23. Which stage in Erikson's theory is associated with the struggle to establish a sense of identity and avoid role confusion, typically occurring during adolescence? A. Initiative versus guilt. B. Intimacy versus isolation. C. Identity versus role confusion. C. Identity versus role confusion. Erikson's identity versus role confusion stage occurs during adolescence. In this stage, individuals explore their identity, values, beliefs, and life goals, trying to form a coherent sense of self. Successful resolution leads to a clear understanding of one's identity, while failure results in confusion and uncertainty about one's role in society and relationships. It's a critical stage where individuals search for their identity and establish a sense of self. 24. According to the Ross stages of death and coping, which stage involves individuals seeking to negotiate or make deals in an attempt to postpone their impending death? A. Denial. B. Anger. C. Bargaining. C. Bargaining. The bargaining stage in Ross's stages of death and coping involves individuals attempting to negotiate or make deals to postpone their impending death. This stage is characterized by seeking ways to delay or alter the outcome, often through religious or spiritual beliefs, making deals with a higher power, or seeking a way out of the situation. It's a phase where individuals try to find a compromise or bargain to cope with the reality of death. 25. In adulthood, what age range is typically associated with the stage known as emerging adulthood, characterized by exploration and identity development? A. 25, 40, B. 18, 25, C. 60, 80, B. 18, 25. Emerging adulthood is generally observed between the ages of 18 to 25. It's a period of transition and exploration where individuals are gaining independence, exploring career paths, and forming their identity. This phase is characterized by increased autonomy, self-discovery, and exploration of various life options, including education, work, relationships, and personal development. It's a time of transition and identity development before fully embracing the responsibilities of adulthood. That concludes our review of Unit 6 of the Common 9 Unit series for the AP Psychology exam. Please subscribe for more reviews on AP Psychology and other AP courses. Good luck with your preparations and studies. I am confident in you.